Do you realize that God sees what you do, and He also sees what you don't do? In other words, He knows if you are naughty or nice. This is the truth. God sees if you are doing it with a spirit of excellence. This is a big deal at this academy, and I teach on excellence in depth within our coaching certification program. God sees if you are doing something diligently. He sees who you are doing it for. If it's all about you and your recognition, then it's all in vain. Work as unto Him, knowing that He's right there beside you each day, cheering you on. Yes, go. You can do it. Keep going. Today's episode will create a deeper understanding and increase your confidence about your talents and abilities, as well as the urgency we should have to increase them. Welcome to the Christian Coaching School Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Leelo Bush. I'm a master coach, author, curriculum creator, and the #1 authority on spirit-led Christian coaching. I've trained tens of thousands worldwide since 2003. If you're ready to up-level your skills, find greater fulfillment, and employ the most powerful coaching available to mankind, let's go. Welcome to this episode of the Christian Coaching School Podcast. I'm Dr. Leelo Bush, and I am so glad that you have joined me. Thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself and your coaching skills. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back, my friend. The topic today, ability, is one that is so important and really doesn't get enough attention. It might be that we just take some things for granted, or maybe we get caught up in our day and just don't think about it. But when I recently picked up one of Dani Johnson's books, Spirit-Driven Success, that I have had for years, the pages opened up to the section on ability. So this episode will be collaborative in a way because I'll read excerpts from her book, Spirit-Driven Success, and also comment on what she says. Let's face it, some things that just need to be said the way that Dani says them, right? And just to be candid, Dani doesn't know that I'm sharing from her book, and if she learns of it, I hope she enjoys it. We really share very similar points of view on the topic. I will leave a link to her book in the show notes if you're interested in picking it up. And I recommend it for anyone who feels drawn to Christian coaching and the topic of achieving success God's way. Remember the parable of talents in Matthew 25? Everyone has a talent. All 3 servants got something. It says, He gave each one according to their own ability. All of them got something. All of them got a gift from God, according to their ability. What does that say to you and me? Have you ever raised your ability? Can you remember when you started off on a job years and years ago? Remember when your ability stunk? With time and training, though, and trial and error, what happened to your ability? It got better, and then you mastered the task. Did your confidence grow? It said that the master came and gave according to their ability. So, who was in charge of the ability department? Well, you. But Dani, I'm lacking in the ability department. What are you going to do about it? Just give up and give in? What do you do if you don't have an ability? Go get yourself trained and equipped. But I don't know business. So what? Go learn. Did you know you can learn to do anything? Isn't that awesome? We are co-laborers with Christ. And what does that mean? He carries His 50 bricks and you carry yours. Together, you get the entire load carried. That's what that means. Do you have some abilities that you are using? The more you use those abilities, the better they become. The more you invest into your skills, the better they become. The next thing that happens is that the master leaves. And this is amazing to me. He leaves and he comes back a long time later. Why did he give them talents and then wait to see what happened? He wanted to see what they were going to do with the talents. He's thinking, okay, well, I've got 3 people. I'm putting out this challenge. I'll see who's going to step up. That's what he did. He put the challenge out there, and he gave out the 3 talents. He wanted to see who was going to step up. He didn't hover over the 3. He left. Many of us are hovering over our children in case they make a mistake. But the Bible says he left. He let them step up on their own to do what they were going to do. He gave them a gift, and then he left to see what was going to happen with it. So let's talk about the first servant who was given the 5 talents. You know what I think he did? This is the Dani version of the parable of the talents. It said he left at once and invested the money. And what did he do? He doubled the money. He took the 5 talents that his master had given him and said, okay, I think I better find a business. So this first servant, he goes out and invests in a business. He made an investment and he doubled his money. So now he doesn't just have 5, but he has doubled his money and he now has 10. And let me tell you what the first servant didn't do. He did not say, that master, he's always giving me this load of work to do, and then he leaves. I don't want my boss to get any more credit for my success. I don't want this company to prosper anymore for my efforts. Forget it. I'm not doing anything. I know Christians and non-Christians that do that and expect to get blessed. You can't sow that seed. I'm not going to help. They haven't helped me. What have they done for me? There ain't no way I can move up. This whole thing is bottlenecked. All the people are already at the top and I'm just the bottom feeder. That's not what the first servant did. He was so grateful for the opportunity to go out there and do something because he was given a chance. You've been given a chance to succeed as well. He says that he did it immediately. That servant did it with a spirit of excellence. He did it diligently. That's what he did. He wasn't focused on anything else besides, I am going to make my master proud. Here's another thing the first servant did. He trusted his master's character. You know what? I'm right here right now. I better make the best of it. Can you honestly say that you have not given your business, your marriage, etc., the spirit of excellence that you know you should? Part of it is because you really have not had the revelation about God who you serve. You seem to think you've found this little life all by yourself. All of this was by the hand of God. It says he moves the heavens and earth to make his will come to pass. What are the odds of you reading this book? Have you been searching for ways to improve your life? Have you been working hard and hitting a brick wall, looking for answers as to why? Ask, and you shall receive. Let's talk about servant number 2. He did the same thing. He went out immediately and he doubled his profits. He had 2 talents. He invested 2 talents and boom, he wound up prospering. Let me tell you what servant number 2 did not do. He didn't whine about only receiving 2 talents. He didn't say, you know what, you got 5 and I only got 2. I always get the short end of the stick. I never get to win. Hasn't that happened to you before? He didn't do that. He didn't call his friend Ezekiel and say, Ezekiel, I was with my master today and he is such a jerk. He gave Shaquem 5 talents and I got gypped again and I only got 2. He didn't do that. He wasn't ungrateful. He did not compare what he got to what someone else got. He did not make a comparison and say, well, forget it then. When I get 5, I'll make that double and I'll do good. When I get to that director position, then I'll give it my best shot. When I get the management position, boy, I tell you what, watch out because I am going to shine then. You have to shine first before you get the position. You have to shine first before the promotion. You have to be trusted first with what you have before you ever think about rising up beyond where you're at. That's the way it works. He didn't say, that does it, I'm never going to be good enough anyway, so why even try? Nothing ever works out for me anyway. Everyone always winds up getting promoted ahead of me. This is always where I end up, second best all the time. So what's the point? I know you're not like this, but I'm sure you know someone who is like this. Servant number 2 knew who the promoter was. So he went out and he gave it his best shot. With a spirit of excellence, with diligence, not looking to the right or to the left, not looking at who was watching him, not looking at what someone else got or didn't get, with a total spirit of gratefulness and with a complete spirit of excellence and diligence, he went out and took care of what he was given. The master came back and doubled the blessing. That's how you get promoted. So let's look at my favorite servant, number 3. Is he your favorite too? Number 3 was given a talent. And what did he do with it? Do you remember? He dug a hole and he buried it. I have to confess to you, that was me not too long ago. I buried my talents and I said I would never speak again, never to raise up others to succeed again. I even sold the clothes I designed that I used to wear on stage. I sold everything and I settled in my lot as a Christian woman to serve as a mother and wife, and that's it. There was nothing else for me. The role of mother and wife is a powerful one. I'm still doing it at my house every day when my kids get out of school. I'm with my kids. I travel once a month. I homeschool. I'm a cooking freak. I still do laundry, still do the dishes. Well, okay, here's where I have to say Evan does the dishes. He cooks and he does the dishes. Isn't that awesome? I love my husband. You probably see some of his cooking efforts on Facebook. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's good. I am blessed. I am a blessed woman. But anyway, Dani does the dishes and she does the laundry and she cooks. And you can ask anyone who knows me. I'm still a mom and a wife. That's a powerful role. Here's another very interesting thing. It says he dug a hole and buried it. And it says, and he hid the Lord's money. Did you catch that? Whose money is that in your pocket or in your bank? He has entrusted you with an amount. Are you taking care of it? And are you investing it wisely? Or are you blowing it? Good question. It says the Lord's money, the Lord's talent, the Lord's gift. It says that he buried the Lord's money. All that you have is his. And when you come to that revelation, you will treat things so much more differently. All that you are is his. He knitted you together in your mother's womb. He set a plan for you before the beginning of the foundation of the world. What are you doing with the talent that he has given you? You were born with gifts. You were born with talents. The Bible says there's not one person that was born without them. We are all born with something, and it's his. What are you doing with it? Are you using it? Do you know that you have a gift or a talent? Would you say that you need a little bit of work in the area of using it? Doing something with it? Why do you think the third servant hid his talent? It says in the Bible, I hid the talent because I was afraid. What was he afraid of? Failure? Rejection? Why aren't you using all of your talents? It's a question to ask yourself. Do you think that you're not good enough? Let's go back to Matthew 25:24. Then the man who had received 1 talent says, Master, I know that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown, gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your talent in the ground. See? Here you have what belongs to you. Don't you think it's a little strange that the other two did not feel the same way about the master? So what I believe happened is that the servant who was given the one talent was absolutely ungrateful for what he had been given. He probably looked at the other two and said, "How come I didn't get that?" He probably was one of those that says, "That wicked master that I serve, I work so hard and yet I never get a piece of the action." Or he could have been afraid of disappointing his master and had a confidence issue. He had excuses that left his talent dormant. This was a servant who was delusional. There were 3 servants. 2 of the servants, with the spirit of gratefulness and excellence and diligence, went out to please their master. But here's the one servant who had a judgment against his master and said, "You're a hard man and I was afraid, so here, you can have what's yours." Isn't that the craziest thing? Why is it that the third one had a completely different view than the other 2? Do you have a prejudgment on God in a similar way? Do you think that no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you try, that it's not going to work for you anyway? That's what the third servant thought. He believed that his master was a wicked man. He did not know the character of his master. Do you know the character of your master? Because if you really truly knew the character of your master, you would go at it with everything you've got. Fear would not fit into the equation. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of man would not fit into the equation if you really knew the character of your master. The first 2 knew the character of their master, and they knew, "I'm going to make him proud, and he will bless me." The last one did not know the character of his master, and therefore did a wicked thing. All 3 servants were being tested for a promotion. 2 took a risk and made an increase. The third servant didn't pass the test. And my heart hurts when I see my brothers and sisters not being all they can be. My heart pains when I see people putting hindrances in their life when they serve such a glorious God who wants them to succeed, who wants them to shine. He wants for the world to see, "Look what I've done with my son. Look what I've done with my daughter. That's my workmanship." Oh, that gives me goosebumps. He will put you on platforms and give you a chance. Do you know your master? Do you know you've been given a talent and a gift from God? What are you doing with your talents? Don't weigh. Don't delay. Get busy. Would you like to learn more about Christian coaching from me as you join a community of sharp, like-minded go-getters? If so, I want to invite you to join my new private Facebook group called Courageous Christian Coaching Tribe. It takes courage these days, I know. It takes courage to be a Christian, and even more to be a Christian coach, and you've got what it takes if God's called you here. To find a link to my group, visit pccca.org/tribe, and you will find this URL in the show notes as well. And I can't wait to meet you and welcome you, where you will meet some of the old guard coaches who have been with me for over a decade, as well as some newbies and aspiring coaches. And hey, if you see the value of coaching God's way, I want to add these coaching methods to your skill set. If you have enjoyed this podcast, please give us a review on Apple Podcasts. This will benefit us in the search engine algorithms and help other coaches and aspiring Christian coaches like you to find us. Now go out and make this the best day yet. Remember, God is beside you, cheering you on. Yes, go, you can do it. Yes, go, you can do it. Keep going. Yes, go, you can do it. Keep going. I am Dr. Leelo Bush, and I will meet you again on our next episode of the Christian Coaching School podcast. If you've enjoyed this podcast, you've got to join me in my free introductory coaching masterclass. I created this program so that you can experience the power of coaching and see if we're a fit to help you achieve your training and certification goals. Visit us at pccca.org/get certified. Be sure to download the worksheets after you sign in so that you don't miss a thing. Again, that's pccca.org/get certified. See you there.